Q services, Q washers. What I've got here is the 200 bar 15 litre WS201 interpump flange coupling drive motor. This is set up at the moment, and what it's simply set up with is timeout system. So the machine itself is set up so if you leave that machine running for 3 minutes, the machine itself will time itself out. Doesn't matter if the gun's leaking, the machine will still time itself out. Turn the machine on, you've got the switch here, turn to your right. To turn it off, turn it to your left. Now, like I say, even if the machine's left running, that machine will time itself out after 3 minutes. That timer inside there can be altered and changed. You've got the switch, turn it on to hot and cold. Now on this system here, you've got 415 mains feed, and you've also got 240 volt. The 240 volt setup is set up there for the heater. The heater that's on there the stat. So if for any reason frosty weather comes, what used to happen with customers was they'd unplug the machine. At that stage they'd take the heater away from the system. So what we've got is a separate cable there, 240 volt, to keep this machine warm. So if for any reason it's sat outside, you don't want anybody to use the machine, but you've unplugged it, at least leave it plugged in on the 240 volt to keep it warm. Fuel to the fuel tank, main feed, or whatever you're feeding it from, and you've got your soap at high pressure feed. There's a chemical valve to turn the soap on and off. Turn it to your left to turn it on, and close it to your right. Now if you leave that open, that machine will take air in. If you run out of soap or anything like that, the machine itself will automatically time itself out as well. Electric fuel pump. Thermostat set inside here. Now as you see, you'll see the arrow that at the moment is set at 60 degrees. I normally leave the machine set at 60, so when they want you to use it on hot, it's set at 60 inside, locked away in the cabinet so nobody can mess about with it. Fuel level switch inside the tank, so if the machine runs out of water, the machine will knock itself off. We've also got there as well, if frosty weather's coming, you know about it, this valve. So if you want to, at the end of the day and you're not using it, unplug the machine on the 415 volt but leave the 240 in, turn the valve open. We've then also got a valve at the bottom here that dumps the water also out the tank and empties the tank off. That at the moment was closed, and like I say, so if you drain the tank, open that off, or you get any dirt in there, just open that up to drain it off. That's the drain off point. Brass wire strainer filters for any dirt in the system that comes in. That filter's there to protect the system as well. The cabinet itself is all lagged, as you can see, the front cover and everything else. So like I say, that is mainly. Now, high pressure outlet, because we've opened that valve at the moment, so what it's doing is letting water out the boiler, so the machine itself is frost protected. We've also got the safety valve to the left hand side, and you've got that valve that we just opened before, which is the prime valve, which is this valve here. So if you open that, the water will run from all the way through the system and drain itself. It's protected. Water at the back, hose lock fitting for the ball cock, and that's all set up there. Chemical valve, blow motor, fuel solenoid, fuel filter, so you can see the dirt, any dirt that goes in the system, you can make sure everything's okay. Now this fuel pump, if you run out of fuel, what we can't do when you run off a big tank is make that fuel pump shut off without fuel. Now it will tick, you leave it ticking, rattling like heck if it's running out and running low on fuel. But like I said, don't leave it, it's electric fuel pump, not a mechanical fuel pump, so it means that if it does run dry, it's not going to damage the drive peg on the blow motor like you would do normally with a Danfoss pump. Ignition transformer at the back, all set up. 240 volt box there, and that is running the blow motor and so on, and the heater. Now, protection in there, if anything happens on this, so on this stat at the bottom, frost protection, you hear it click. So at that stage, that is then set. That light will only come on when you get below freezing or a certain temperature. That will come on. Check it when the winter starts to come to make sure it's working correctly. Plug it in and turn it up a bit, and then knock it back down again, so you know that that is working correctly. Thanks very much. Q Services, Q Washers, eBay and YouTube.